Welcome again, everyone, to the IIDA Summit, an initiative by the Architect's Diary, sponsored by Bromic Heating and Insulpro. Our venue is designed by Manticore Designs. Moving ahead with the workshop, which is important right now more than ever, a workshop on Instagram for architects. A brief about our mentor, architect Sejal Mittal. She is the chief design educator at Alcove Launchpad. She curates experiences and products that help the next generation to succeed as an interior designer. From her experiences in the field, she knows how difficult it is to start an interior design firm all by yourself without knowing what, how, why, etc. This is a way for her to give an early start to the journey of young designers in the interior design profession through this venture. With this vision in place, Alcove Launchpad has trained over 3,000 plus next generation architects and interior designers to launch their career in this field. Basic understanding of Instagram and how to grow your business through Instagram and maximizing your reach. So I would like to give the screen now to architect Sejal Mittal. Thank you.
Thank you, Gauri. Shall I start now, Gauri?
Yeah, I think you can start.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for the brief introduction, Gauri, and thank you, Ida, first of all, for giving me this huge platform to present myself and my company. So, I am Sejal Mittal. I am an architect based out of Bombay, and um, my studio name is Alcove Studio, and I have another sub auxiliary as Alcove Launchpad, which is my where we impart practical education for interior designers. So today I will be glad to present you with Instagram for architects. So let's start off with some few things that a designer could use for Instagram to grow their business and expand themselves. I hope you guys can see my screen, and we'll just start. So this is few content that we'll be covering up today. What is Instagram? Why Instagram for designers? And how to start, what to use, how to grow from zero to somewhere recognizable where people can really come to you for getting design work done. So Instagram, what is Instagram anyway? So it is just a social network like other media platforms where Instagram works because people crave for connections. It is a part of your identity, and being you works. You have to be original, you have to be yourself, and that's about it. Consistency is the key for Instagram. Okay, so everybody knows, I don't have to go in detail what is Instagram, but why for designers? How do I think that Instagram is so important, or how can Instagram be helpful for us as architects and interior designers? So one picture speaks louder than thousand words, and uh, our field is such that just talking verbally doesn't work. We have sketches, we express ourselves through reference images, sketches, renders. So Instagram is the right medium, as it promotes pictures, and your profile and the grid has a flow of pictures and not too many words and things like that. So I think that's a very, very nice platform for us to grab some work out in the market. So I'll just do some quick briefing, and then I'll go to some tips and tricks. So this is about how to put together your basics. Of course, the profile name, profile picture, bio, contact details, highlights. So fine, these things are fine. But what I want to mention here is about the profile picture. The branding that you're doing for your company, yeah, the your logo, it should come there instead of your picture. Whatever company you're holding, whatever is the business that you are doing, make sure you put that logo out there. It should be bright, clear, and bold, not too long, not too detailed. We being architects and designers, at time go to the intricate designing and just bang our head, and then the outcome might be beautiful, but we need to understand what Instagram gives us is a small circle where we need to put ourselves. And somebody who's sees should register who you are. So make sure it is bright, clear, and bold, and not something which has too many things going on in there. So that is something which is, I think, very, very, very important when it comes to making a profile. This is one mistake, in fact, I would say I have done in the past when I was doing for Alcove Studio. you know I started doing dribbling and all that, and then I came up with, what you see in the top portion of Alcove Studio is what I designed, 2 years, 3 years back. And then Alcove Launchpad was my comparatively fresh thing which I was going to do. And then I realized that Alcove Studio ka logo might be good enough, but when I talk about putting myself out on the social media platforms, I thought it isn't working really well. It is not standing out bold. And then when I had to do for Alcove Launchpad, I made sure that the company name is something which takes the limelight, and the logo is bright and crystal and clear. So I thought that my Alcove Launchpad had a justice in terms of logo designing, and how it works with Instagram and other social media platforms. So this is just an example. I mean, it's okay, you do mistakes and you learn from it, and that is how life is. So this is about how you should put up your profile picture. Moving ahead to profile name. So profile name should be your business name and not your personal name. It is the account of the name, and it is reflected as an IG user which tries to search your page. While selecting that, make sure it can be easily spelled, it is not too complex and long, it can be easily read and makes you sound professional, and makes you sound it immediately, just reading that people understand what you are, what you do, what are you into, and they do not misinterpret you and just swipe up. So this is about that. Then going ahead to profile bio, it is also very, very, very important. It is a very short description of your profile which depicts the objective of your brand. The first 3 seconds, when somebody is on your profile, people judge you on your bio. They read the bio and they try and understand what are you into, what is the work you do, and that is what gives them a judgment of you. Your profile bio should include who you are. Clearly put forward your service, whatever you are serving. If I am an architect, I am an urban designer, I should clearly put forward what are my services. So clearly put forward what all are your services. You can be a little funny and witty, you don't have to be really very strict and professional all the time. It's okay, just break loose. It is an instant win. I think a little humor just works well, and people are there on Instagram for a little bit of fun also. Introduce keywords, add emoji, use line breaks in your bio if necessary to kind of highlight that these are my services and this is what I do. Shorten your website. If you have a very long website, https, this, that, if it is like a 2 line a thing, then make sure that you use bitly or you use other shortening websites, and you shorten it so that your profile bio doesn't take 2 lines of your website itself. And location is to be visible. So we are probably, even if we are doing outstate projects, 80% of the projects that we want to take up, or initially during our building years, I think it is in our own city. So I think it is necessary that you put your location so that the right audience is attracted, and you are diverted to them. So these things are something which you should make sure that you put in your profile bio. I'll just quickly show you a couple of examples of what I found was a good description and a nice, how they have put. So Nina Takesh, she's an interior designer who I love and I follow. You guys see how clearly she has put, it's very clear, interior designer, remodeling expert. Like, she has put her services down there. She has, given her website address, which is again shortened up, and a very nice, simple, sweet, and to the point, and somebody coming to a profile can instantly see that what she is into. And yeah, I think that was a good way. Another example of this is Contour Interior, which I saw, and she has explained it into words, and a luxury. She has to the point mentioned her services, what she's offering, and what is her speciality, what does she specializes in. Everybody out there could, there's so many architects and interior designers. But what is that one feature that you makes you stand out from the crowd? Just identify that and put that in your bio. Also, I like the way she has used this hashtag, so that she has made a part of her profile. Anybody trying to tag her could use this hashtag, and probably she would be using this hashtag for each of her posts. So these are two interesting examples of how a bio could be. Moving ahead, highlights. So guys, you can always put in your questions and queries, and I would just appreciate if there's something that you guys want me to take up. So highlight is a feature of your profile where you get to showcase your best stories. It is something that you can in fact take a leverage on. It could be probably 6 to 8 in number, and you could display variety of your work, have something for each kind of audience. This gives you a leverage to put multiple things with keeping in mind the different kind of audience that could visit your profile and that you would like to cater to. So you can have something for each kind of audience here. And highlight is something, just once you tap, it just takes through like a video form one after the other, and it kinds of keeps somebody engaged. So I think you should have highlights out there. Also, content buckets for highlight could be some of them I have put up here for you making it easier. Example: about you, your services, projects that you have done, work in progress, your USP, testimonials, feature, popular posts. So such things could be a good bucket to add on for your highlights. Moving ahead, well, I'm just keeping these things very quick and crisp because we kind of use this on a daily basis, and I don't want to go into minute details where I'll just stick to the point and what is necessary here. Now a lot of times I've seen we always have a say personal profile. I also have a personal Instagram profile, and often when we get out of college and we're trying to establish our design firm, we start putting our work on our personal page and try promote it. But I think it's completely wrong. You should have a company profile, you should have a business profile which is dedicated to your business and to architect designing, and it should not be something which is a personal profile. That is my personal take on how you should do it. Once in a while, putting a pure picture about yourself and being you is fine, but that doesn't mean that your personal profile, which was there since probably 5 years, and just because you have 826 followers there, you continue your business also there. So either you kind of scrap it out, whatever you have posted, and start from fresh, or you create a new business profile altogether. Also, why is business profile important is, if somebody is putting up a business profile, it gives you a contact us option, which is I think very mandatory for us. If somebody is trying to reach you out for business, it gives them that button to reach you immediately and prompts them, and it could lead to a conversion or a lead for you. So it gives us a contact us button, which is not there on the personal profile. So that is one of the most important thing, which I think is why business profile should is recommended on Instagram for when you're trying to set up a business. Any questions here, guys? And this is what I've just put on the right side. What you see is what things do you get in a business profile versus a personal profile. Clickable link in bio, it directs you to your website. Swipe at pin link stories, though it comes after 10,000, so don't worry. Deeper insights, what post is performing at what time and things like that, which is very necessary for you to understand, and then put your post at that particular time for you to grow and engage better. So it gives you a deeper insight. Then also contact button and promote post. So if you want to have a paid promotion of your post or something that you're putting up, so a business account will only allow that. So these are the few reasons that I think business profile is recommended. Moving ahead, I'll show you few IGTV IG channels which you can use to engage audience and put up your posts and stories. You don't have to use all at once. When you're starting your business, when you're starting your Instagram, don't get overwhelmed ki, oh my god, these all things I have to do. If there is an IG feed, which is the wall grid, main post grid, then there is IG stories, then there is this IGTV, which is a long format video, and then there is live video, and there is pinned highlights, and now there is this besides pinned highlights, now also there is reel. So don't get overwhelmed by saying ki, "Arey, should I put up a story or should I put up a post? IGTV karu, reel karu, live jaun." It's okay. Take it one by one. Take it slowly. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. Don't duplicate content across all the channels. I can't be designing a brick wall. Say I have to talk about a brick wall, and I put that the same thing on my story. Now I'm putting the same thing on my post. I mean, the audience is same. They'll get annoyed and unfollow you. So don't repeat the or duplicate content over across all the platforms. Start with where your comfort is, ideas plus products of our stream, and grow step by step. Though I would say reel is something which Instagram has recently added, and it is kind of promoting more than any other platform, I would say. So just a minute. Yeah. So I think you can take advantage of that. These are some just screen ratios of how Instagram stories, post, IGTV, and videos look like. Moving ahead, this is something which is very, very important. Now, once we have a profile, we have set up a business profile and bio and things are sorted, what kind of content to put is very important, and that is something which will help you engage with the audience and interact with the audience and help you grow. So I have divided into five parts, how the content bucket, how you could divide it, because it should have variety. It should, each post should be different from the other. You can't be always just putting your executed projects one after the other. There has to be a break. You need to breathe, and you can't always in fact have shoots done. So you should have a mix of a few things. So here are those few content buckets that you could try on. One is dialogue. So it is an open-ended question where you leave the audience with a question and they kind of answer it, and there is an interaction that you kind of encourage. Then is authentic. You be real, you be fully transparent. Even if I'm going at site, maybe I'm all dirty, but I'm sharing about myself, my picture, and things like that, and how I am working. It is just about me and just being very real and transparent. Then something which is relatable, which is evergreen and trending. For example, if I'm talking about Taj Mahal, the seven wonders of the world, it is something which is evergreen and trending, and it is relatable. The audience will relate and understand it. So there is that category. Then it's value based. You teach the world what you know. For example, like we start putting, suppose there is some fact that you want to share about a cement, different kinds of cement or brick, new innovation, something what is new, just giving you an example. So something that adds value, the audience reads and kind of feels, oh okay, I didn't know that, oh that is something which is interesting. So something that gives value to the audience. Then at times you would also want to take a stand for yourself, or something about, or putting up an opinion about something that you believe in, no matter even if it is controversial, it is completely fine. You take a stand. So these are few buckets that you could try, and you could expand your content accordingly. So after creating all these different type of content buckets, you need to plan your content now. So you need an Instagram planner. Research your audience, what your audience likes. What kind of audience are you trying to attract? Probably are you for example, if it is kids footwear, then they would probably try and attract women of that particular 30 to 40 age group, who would have infants. So you need to understand who your audience is and what kind of post your audience will like and relate to. So that is something which is very important. Maintain a balance of topic. If I've started with a Taj Mahal, I can't go on in each and every post. For the next 6 posts, I can't be talking about Taj Mahal and the seven wonders and something else and something else. Change the topic, like change the content bucket itself. So you need to balance, create a balance between the different topics. Be interactive. Don't close the doors. Be open. Be entertaining, and let it be an open conversation at times, and allow people to ask you questions, or to message you about your work, or how they can contact you, how can they can reach to get the work done. Be interactive, and of course give some value. So these are few things how you can plan your content. Moving ahead, so these were few things which I just shortlisted, um, about putting it in different content bucket and showing you example, what being what. So like in the first post, if you see, she's trying to take a stand, she's trying to um, uh, tell something, she's trying to take a stand. In the second post that you see is from um, sorry. Yeah, so second post is a authentic post, and it talks about how the wardrobe is designed. The third post is also very personal, and it also is a dialogue. She's trying to ask you a question so that she encourages some engagement. So basically you need to understand the different buckets, and you need to make a mix of different buckets to have variety in your content. Moving ahead, this is just a gist of content bucket for feed post. Also remember, when you are trying to put something on your feed, it has to be well curated, because it is going to stay there for a longer duration as compared to maybe a story which is only going to be there for 24 hours, and it's then going to vanish. So story is something which is very impromptu, and you are on the site and clicking and things like that. Whereas I believe post is something which has to be well thought and well designed, and you have to think about the entire grid, how it is going to look like, and accordingly design those feed posts. Now I have tried to put some examples under each bucket. For example, when I'm talking about dialogue, say ask me anything about site works. On the stories you have that button. Architecture's trend polls, what is trending. Then if you're trying to do something in the authentic section, you could talk about you behind the scenes, relatable, celebration, seasonal, festivities content, real life issues of a designer, value based project documentation, tips and tricks for architects and designers. When you're trying to take some stand, you're trying to form an opinion, or you could be talking about current affairs. So these are few examples on each category that you could talk about. And of course it is very necessary that you plan your monthly calendar. Eventually you should know that what am I going to do on this week and the next week and the next week. So only once you could plan your calendar, you would be able to put out things eventually, and maintain it for a long term. You might be enthusiastic initially, where you every day go and decide, and you put your 2 hours and you do it, but eventually that's not going to work. You need to have your calendar planned. um, so also there is this grid that Instagram gives you by default, like how its structure is to play with. The layout of your feed that allows the followers to view your profile. It is that square layout, that 6-9 ka grid that we kind of follow and make to make the feed look good. So how do you plan your Instagram grid? You first of all finalize on the mood board. You design your grid in a set of three. So each line has three posts, three stories, three pictures. So you design your grid in a set of three. You write up, should be legible in grid format. If you're writing anything, it should be legible. You can use content separators to visually amp up your game. Also, when you're trying to plan your Instagram grid, we often also do that. We take up a picture and blow it, the same picture, into maybe a grid of six, so that my feed kind of becomes big because I don't have much to post. So my take on that is, that is the kind of question that I use people ask me. So my take on that is that I would do that initially when I'm setting up my account, but once I start getting engagement and I have followers and I have a bit of swipe, somebody to somebody comes on my Instagram and they can actually scroll through, after a point I'll stop doing that, because that's very annoying when somebody's posting six pictures at a time and you only see a part of it and you can't relate to it at all. Somebody has to go back to your profile to see what you have put up. So initially it's fine when you're trying to grow into audience. Once you have a certain and decent followers, I think that should be really very occasional and only well planned. Yeah. So when you're planning your feed post, how your feed should look like. So that is the first impression when somebody comes to your profile, and while you're scrolling, it should give a impact. It should leave an impact and a nice impression of your company. So you should always think on the visuals, language, colors, font, and patterns. It should be you can't just use 10 different kind of fonts and all over the place. It has to be one. Like, we are ultimately designers, we need to take care of that. So I think that is something which leaves a good impression on the audience and the followers. Nice visual, nice language. You need to speak out for yourself. Your company should have a language. Once they see a post, they should relate, okay, this story is from Alcove Studio, because the graphics, the style, they speak for itself eventually. You train them, you train the followers to kind of visualize and relate and demarcate that this post is from XYZ company. Also, while posting, I think you should do to increase your interaction. You should always try and use maybe location tags, if there is any credits. Posting without permission is equal to stealing. It is not a good etiquette, and always give credit. So yeah, credit is mandatory if at all required. Timings, which you will get an idea from the insights, the day and timing, which day works well and what time of the day works well. Then Captions, a brief description, hashtags. So these all things will improve your reachability and help you grow your followers. Um, so then we did an quick Instagram audit, and this is an example. The logo was fine, crisp, and clear. There was a link to the website, and it was a short and sweet, and it makes it look professional. The username is pretty good. It says what it is about. Using, if you're talking about architecture, if you're talking about designers, having a word that depicts it, studio in design, and whatever, all these things, make sure it directs that it is, he or she is a designer or an architect. So using such words in your company name helps people to understand. Then if I talk about the bio description and here I thought it could be a little more meaningful, right, about the purpose and why the mission to showcase you. I think what is important here, they say there are thousands of designers out there. What is it, that one thing that you want to put across about yourself which is different than those thousands of architects out there? I think that is something which should be definitely included in your bio, and that is something which will help you stand out. Then about highlights in this particular case, I would like, considering a couple of more nicely designed cover page for each of them, giving a hierarchy. Imagine that first time customer would want to see the current highlights. I only like sneak peek, which tells me more about the work, but the rest I'm not compelled enough to look inside. It should be something which, if a customer has landed on your profile, they should be intrigued enough to go in deep. Um, so this was all on the same page. Moving ahead, how are captions and hashtags important? Of course, Instagram is a lot about visual, it's a lot about that picture that you post, but writing also matters. The captions and hashtags are also very, very important. Caption is a brief description that you write about your feed post before publishing it on your profile. You should try to keep it short, use easy vocabulary, stick to a tone. That is now very important. What we often miss is, while we are writing caption, it looks like, I just copy pasted it from somewhere. Like, set tone that you want for your company. Make it personal. I would like to make it personal for my company. It should be like I am writing the post and I am talking to the audience, rather than it being like this window and that. Make it like, while I was designing, what was your thought process while you were doing it? Like, stick to a tone throughout your post. I mean, that is something which is very important. uh, a story, break it up with spaces and paragraphs so it is easy to use, sorry, easy to read. Now, types of captions: open-ended questions, make it about the user. You could also use poll. You could give them choices, and then CTA, tell them what to do next. Like, you direct them. You direct them that this is the next step that you want to do. You lead them to something. So these are the different types of captions. So this is something I think you guys should ask to yourself. Am I consistent? Does it encourage a response? Does it help them to get to know me? I should be answering at least one of these questions should be yes if I'm posting something on my feed. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. I can't be posting up scrap. So these were two examples that I liked how they have written the caption. It's quite personal, it's quite interactive. It talks about the hardest, for example, the hardest work is to come up with cool ideas, says the graphic designer and the photographer. I try to find insights and moments, like, it is about how I felt about the photograph or the image, and it is about how I am doing it. It is not about, just it should not be a tone where it looks like it is something which is copy pasted and which is talking a company talking. It should be, I think, you should give a soul to the company by making it personal. So that is the kind of tone that I would like to set up. um, then, coming to hashtags, what are hashtags? It is widely used on micro blogging and photo sharing services such as Twitter and Instagram, as a form of user generated tagging that enables cross referencing of content, subject, or a theme. So, how to write hashtag? We know to use. We all know that hashtag use karna hai, but hey, how do you want to use that hashtag? Check out, what your community is using. What are the other designers and architects using? That is, easy way to get started with. Make a quick Google search. Google Baba Zindabad. Keep an eye on relevant trending ones, like what is trending at present. Keep an eye on that. Narrow down hashtags to your niche. You don't, there are millions of hashtags, but you need to understand which hashtag works well for your niche. And initially, I would suggest using low density hashtags. What I mean by low density hashtag is, for example, if I say Shakira, hashtag Shakira, probably, millions of people are using Shakira. And if I am also using Shakira as an hashtag, there's enough competition for me to be, there in the search engine. So I would rather, take, say, a niche which is meant for me, and not a lot of people are using it, has less competition, so that allows me to be featured easily. So I'll have a mix of high density and low density, but initially I would start with a low density hashtag. You can at times also rely on the Insta auto suggestion. While you're typing, they have that suggestion coming up. Check top performing post of your niche. You can also, after you have, say, had hundreds of posts, you can check your top performing one, and then, see what worked better for your Instagram. And the SEO of Instagram, search engine optimization of Instagram, what for that particular thing, which Instagram would, which hashtag would work better. So it has to be a mix of all these kinds of hashtag, but don't overdo it also. Like, you don't go there and start putting like 50 and 100 of hashtags. Like, keep it under, I would say, 15 or something like that. Some note here. Add it to your caption, not comments. Yes, do not add the hashtags to your comment. I don't think that really helps a lot. I think adding it to the caption is a better idea. How much is too much? 30 per post or 10 per post? So I think, 10 to 15 is a decent amount. Use analytics to see how it performed. Avoid banned hashtags. There's some hashtags which are banned by Instagram, so try and not use that. Sorry. For example, if you see, they will show you which is a banned one. So this is how Instagram gives you so Instagram has a guideline. For example, you can't be posting, nudity. You can't be encouraging violence. So don't use the hashtags which are banned. It will shadow you, and it will not help you grow. In fact, Instagram will restrict your growth, and your post won't be visible to a good amount of people. Categories, some categories for hashtags. It could be product or service, the niche in your industry, Insta community. It could be event based also at times. If I'm doing a site visit, hashtag site visit. It could be, Diwali, I'm doing a decor, Diwali decor. It could be event based, it could be location based, it could be a daily hashtag, like a fun day Sunday, and something like that. Then acronyms like YOLO and OOTD. What are you doing? Sketch now, design in process, something like that. Brand based, it could be like, for example, I would be using hashtag Alcove Studio. Campaign based, so share a coke. So these are different categories, and you can have a mix of all of them and try and see what works well. Now, how to engage your audience. Now, also, guys, let me tell you, when I say you have to be you, you have to be real, you have to be real, and you have to be you. A lot of times, we have uh, I have uh, participants coming to me and asking ki, I saw this page, they were at 200, and they're trying hard and struggling to grow their audience, and all of a sudden they came to 8,000. So it is nothing but bite audience, bite followers. I do not support that at all, and it is not going to help you. Believe me, it is not going to help you at all, because the engagement is going to be very low. They're eventually going to unfollow you. They were following you for a purpose because they were paid. All these things do not work. It is very important that you have a relevant audience which engages with you. You should have a high engagement rate. That is something which makes a profile. Like when I'm checking out any profile, I'll try and understand what is the engagement rate, and if that is good, means you are a genuine profile. So that is something which should be kept in mind. uh Comments, they can comment on every feed of your post. I would not like to restrict, commenting or ban it. I like audience to comment on my post and make some engagement, tagging, reposting. So I think that is something that you should allow. Then and do, repost, tag people. What is basically engagement rate? The percentage of engagement you have in form of likes, comments, shares, or saves is something which is called as an engagement rate. So here is a chart which you see at the right bottom. So if it is less than 1%, you have a low engagement rate. If you have between 1 to 3.5, it is an average or a good engagement rate. Between 3.5 to 6 is a high engagement rate, and above 6 is a very high engagement rate. So it is very important when you put up a post, people should like it, share it, because it is authentic. Probably you're putting up a value. Think about what your audience wants, and eventually what you want is your followers should be relevant, your relevant audience only, which makes will give you business eventually. um, for example, this is one of the picture that I posted on my Instagram page. Now if you see there, there are people, this is how I talked about how I described the image, and then how people have been responding to it. And uh, the analytics for this is not here, but then I go on the analytics and I see how many saves were there, how many shares were there. So there has to be that engagement. They should engage with your post. That is very, very important. Again, just about engagement rate, there is this how you calculate it. I'll just pause on this for a couple of seconds. So this is how you calculate an engagement rate and kind of identify if the profile that you are looking at is genuine or not. If the user has purchased followers and is a fake thing, when you will go to their pictures, you will find out that the engagement rate is pretty low. And it clearly says that I'm having 10,000 followers, but I barely have 10 likes on my post, and no engagement. That clearly says either I'm fucking up with my post, or I'm buying my followers and they're not my relevant customers, so they will not engage, they'll not relate to your post, and there will be low engagement rate. Now, how to increase your engagement rate? Create content that your users like. Ask for their opinion, reviews of the audience. Post on a suitable time of the day, which you'll get to know from the analytics section. Use relevant hashtags. This was a summary of what we discussed right now. Now, how to view insights? You can view the tab of insights in your business profile. This is how it will look like. So for example, for last 10 days, it is the time span that you want. If you want for last 30 days, last 1 month, you can just click here and it will give you an overview. This is how many accounts reached in the last 7 days. What was your content interaction like? What was how interactive was the audience? How was the growth? Um, your followers inside, has it grown or has it reduced? How was it? The content that you share, the channel wise inside, for each story or the post, they will show you that how was the engagement and which story performed better, so that it gives you an idea. Okay, this category, this bucket, behind the scenes probably is working better for me, and this is something which is not so good for me. So next time I know that what kind of content I should be planning more often. For me, I think when I am very organic and natural, and I'm sharing something from my site and behind the scene, that is something that really gives me a good boost, and people enjoy that kind of post. So I think that is something that I've from the various posts that I've done, I've learned that that is something that people enjoy. And also the before and after thing, how the site was before and after designing, how it turned out. So this is about insights, a little about insights. And you will be able to see for everything: the post, stories, IGTV, follower code distribution, follower growth distribution, content interaction. So I think you should make sure that you have a check on the insight, because this will help you to grow in the right direction. It also gives you an age range, what kind of audience is interacting more with you, which age group, which gender, which time, like which day and what time, how is the audience interaction for the last 7 days, how has it been, and the top locations, from which city people are interacting more with you. So it gives you a wide thing to analyze from. Now moving ahead, also there are times, where I'm trying to put out content and I'm being consistent at it, but still Instagram is shadow banning you. So what is shadow banning? Have you ever realized that you are being there on Instagram, you're trying to be consistent, but still you don't have reach, your story doesn't have reach, your post doesn't have reach? That could be because of shadow banning. Shadow banning takes place when a social media platform blocks a user or account in such a way that the user has no idea it's happening. Congratulations. So under when under shadow ban, your visibility on Instagram is reduced drastically. And why it happens is because your account gets reported for violations, or you use broken or banned hashtags, like I was talking about, nudity, or things which are banned by Instagram. Sorry. What? Or you use bots or services that violate Instagram terms and conditions. You have large surges of activity which could indicate you being a fraud. It's a fraud activity or something like that, or you using Instagram's daily hourly limits. Yes, guys, that's also one of the things. You can't abuse Instagram daily limit. Just go and Google. You are using Instagram pod. So these are things which Instagram restricts and bans, and if you're using that, there's a probability that Instagram will shadow ban you, and you will not even know. You'll only realize when you see that your reach has drastically reduced from previous times, and your story or your post doesn't reach to a wide audience. So what not to do, what you learn from this is no spamming, no bulk messaging, no copy paste DMs. Use of repetitive hashtag, like you have to keep changing, you have to update yourself, you have to be you. You can't be copy pasting, you can't be using somebody else's comments and captions and just keep copy pasting. No spamming, no bulk messaging. So these all things are a no. No, this is something which is very important. Here, I've tried to make a crux of what all things I think is important, and what are the best practices involved. So, likes don't matter. Give importance to comment, saves, and shares. That is what is more important when I talk about engagement. It is not only about like, but how many people are commenting, how many people have shared or and saved it. That is something. If that rate is high, you're good to go. Comment on relevant pages. Now if I'm having an architecture page probably, and I full time while I'm on that page, I keep searching about Bollywood and fashion, and I start liking how to do makeup and all those things. Instagram will start relating to me that they'll get confused that one way she's telling she's a designer, and the other, and she's constantly engaging with content which is about fashion and makeup. So it will start showing me for people who are searching for fashion and makeup. So you have to make sure that you are following only relevant pages, and you're commenting and liking on relevant pages. All those other activities that I want to do, I can do it from my personal page. I would rather restrict, because I'm giving a direction to Instagram that hey, this is who I am. I'm liking houses, I'm liking interior design, I'm liking the brick pattern. This is what you want me to promote for, and this is who I am. So Instagram will have a direct indication, okay, so Sejal Mittal is about this. So don't confuse Instagram. Visibility will increase if high following accounts engage with you. If you have good content, and say for example, now I have put up a Fasar and Dipen Gara, Mr. Dipen Gara sir, kinds of engages with that post and likes and comments of on it, then definitely my visibility will improve, because Instagram now knows that an established authority of her field is now engaging with this particular profile, means it is genuine, I should promote it. So it helps Instagram understand that your profile is genuine, and it will promote you. Video content, works better than images. This is my personal experience that I have got a lot more interaction when I am putting up a video than just only images. Initially, I was only comfortable with putting up images on my stories and posts, but now I think I'm trying to explore more on the IGTV and reel section also, because I think video is something that as an individual you try and engage. It is automatic. You don't have to work yourself out. It just plays on and you just have to be an audience, and it works perfectly well. So I think that really is something that you should try and exploit. Be the first one to adopt new releases and features on Instagram. Don't shy away. Just use something. Any new feature that is released out should be tried. Like for example, Reel now. Instagram is promoting Reel more than any other feature, I would say. And if you are, make sure that you are using Reels at this point. Over touched up or very perfect images versus raw or candid. I would prefer raw and candid. Instagram is about being real and not just making it over touched up and just picture perfect. You don't have to do that always. Stay candid. Just be original. A lot of filters are not always required. So I think. In fact, for my profile, I think that has worked better for me. Um, I don't use a lot of filters. I don't use, a lot of editing. And trust me, if I'm trying to do that, that also makes me very difficult to remain consistent. And it increases my workload, and I can't be consistent. You have to be natural. You have to be, you and candid and raw at times. It is completely fine. Then high engagement account right from the start gives you a head start. So while I make my account, my content should be well curated and researched, and it should be something which my audience wants, so that no matter, even if I have 100 followers, the engagement rate is still high. The ratio is still high. So Instagram knows that this profile is genuine, this account is genuine, this business that they're trying to do is genuine. So try and maintain that from the start. Be and designer only Instagram. So now if I'm being if I'm architect or interior designer, I will be only designer there. If maybe I'm good at art, maybe I have a hobby where I play piano and I sell, I'm into cooking. Fine, once in a while where trying to be personal is fine, but otherwise make sure that you stick the profile. And when I go onto your profile, it is a designer's profile. It shows me who you are and which kind of audience. Don't make a khichdi. Don't make a mix and match of everything, that hey, I'm into this also and this also. Now if I, in my free time I'm trying to sell something, I'm trying to sell the food that I'm cooking, I don't put up in that page. Like, it has to be about the designer only thing. Like, you can't do multifunction at from one business page. No, please, no. Don't confuse Instagram. Don't confuse your audience. Be clear, have your niche, and work at it. Network online. You should always network online. Not only when people are trying to comment and like, that is, you should also engage. You should, Instagram gives you an opportunity to kind of engage with your like-minded community. You can like other designers, follow them, engage with them, have a conversation with them, go live with them and things like that. So try and build a network. Spread the word of your handles. Network offline. Time and content. Follow seasons, follow different seasons. So if probably I'm talking about new year, there could be few things which could be trending. So try be relevant to what time it is. If I'm talking about COVID, fine, when it just started, everybody's talking about it, you are being relevant. Probably 5 years down the line, then you're talking about COVID wouldn't make so much sense. So be relevant to the time that you are in. Reuse all old contents also at time. It's okay if you are reposting once in a while something which you had posted long back. Is fine. It's fresh, it's fine. And people don't remember what you had posted 4 months ago if you're at all short of pictures. Break down long form to short form. Just make it crisp and simple. You don't have to write an essay out there, and break long form to short form. and review monthly. Like, it is very important for you to grow. You need to understand what is working better for me, and you want to review your performance and then set goals for the next month, plan a calendar, see things that are performing well, use it again, repost it, and just review. You have to grow. And for me, we all make mistakes, or we it takes time to identify what works well and what is right. So it is very important that we review, and we make changes and we grow from there. So yeah, that was from a short brief on how you can start using Instagram and start using as it's a very very powerful tool. And make the most of it. I think you can get a lot of business from Instagram, by the way it is made, how it looks. It is a very interactive, and it features images, something that we can speak a lot with. So it's easy, and you have to be consistent, you have to be you, and you will get there. It's not that difficult. So yeah, this was about Instagram. If there's something else that you want to know about it, or any queries, you can shoot it in the private chat section, or you can even reach out to me later on my Instagram page. So guys,
Thank
this
you.
was, hi Gauri.
Hi. Thank you so much for this presentation. I think it was very insightful
Thank you,
and it
Gauri.
was very elaborate. So it was really good. And we have some questions from our audience. So maybe I can ask you one by one.
Yeah, sure, Gauri.
Okay. So the first question is, how do you select an audience? Do you write your own audience, or do you set? Does it automatically be selected? Like,
No, you don't select your audience. You don't select. Yeah, I would prefer my profile to be open to all. Anybody who likes me can follow me. I don't select it. Instagram automatically directs me, or shares me, and you don't get to select your audience. Only in case, only when you are trying to promote an ad, which is a paid ad, then you get to select your audience. That what is your audience? What are their likes or their age group. Only in that case you can select your audience.
okay, okay, thank you. And the next question is, should every post be promoted?
Not at all, not necessary. No, I don't believe that every post should be promoted. And when it comes to spending on Instagram, I'm kind of, very careful of where I'm spending my money on. I would rather, my goal always would be to grow organically. Nothing can beat that. So grow organically. If at all you feel that initially you want to get that boost and you want to promote something, go ahead and boost it. But you don't have to go on boosting every picture. See what is working better. Like, if you have posted 10 pictures and that one particular picture of your a particular house worked really well and it got high engagement rate, probably I would boost that as compared to the others.
Okay, thank you. And there is another question: how to increase followers? What should be posted like daily or on alternate days?
Okay, so that's the question that we all want to get answers to: how to increase followers. So when I talk about how to increase, it doesn't come overnight, guys. I know it's a tough affair. You have to be consistent. You have to be at it. I have also grown from zero to 10 plus k, which I'm right now. I know how the journey has been, and it is difficult. But I think you should post frequently, engage with your audience, be consistent. You can in fact do maybe two posts in a week, to posting stories every day, and you engage with them. And so stories, post, reel, IGTV. Don't over bombard it. You don't do like 5 posts in one day, and people, "Arey yaar, ye kaun hai? Unfollow karo, like she's irritating me." You don't have to go to that level, but you have to be consistent, and you will grow organically. That's the best thing I would say.
Okay, thank you so much. I think these are the questions that were asked. And
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for coming here.
Thank you, Gordon, for having me. And it is my privilege to be a part of IIDA. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and you guys can reach me out at my Instagram page, and you can email us, follow us on Instagram, and we'll be happy to serve your queries in future as well. Thank you. Thank you, Gauri. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.